Welcome to League One, week 31 predictions, and we're going in with Luton versus Bradford. Now 7th versus 5th, so that's going to be a really interesting top of the table clash here. Luton win, lose, draw, lose, lose, win. You know, they've been really good up front. They've had a few really clinical games in there, but, and it is a big but, they've had a few just not playing the way we expect them to. They seem to either turn up, play really clinical, or they're just mid-table stuff. Bradford, however, have been, about the same. Lose, win, lose, 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 win. The last two games for these two, both 1-0. 1-0 win for Luton at home to Blackpool. 1-0 win for Bradford at home to Doncaster. Both of these teams almost dead on stats-wise and also dead on performance-wise, because both of them can play really well on the day. One of them could come in and play really well, the other one could come in and play meh. What are you thinking? 3-1, 2-2, 2-1, 1-1 and 1-1. Yes, I've gone for it. Luton 1, Bradford 1. I've agreed with you lot. And we go next to 24th place Port Vale versus 22nd place Burton. Now, of course, this is completely the opposite end of the championship of God, get the league right, of League One. I should know, we're in it ourselves. So Port Vale win, win, lose, lose, win, lose. They had that new manager bounce, didn't they? Really well. Then they just we would. Mansfield are doing really well. 3-0 defeat, fine. Exeter 3-1 defeat, and they were doing really well at that point till they met Rotherham and got beaten 4-0. Leyton Orient 1-0 win. Yeah, they started to think, no, we're not going to go back to our old ways. And then they played a really boring, a poor game against Wimbledon and lost 1-0 at home. They're a bit of they're stuttering at the minute. They really found their stride with the new manager. Then they started to stutter. 24th against Burton in 22nd, and that's win, win, lose, lose, draw, lose. So the only difference here is that last one but one. It was 2 games ago. It was a win for Port Vale, and 2 games ago it was a draw, 2-2. At home to Cardiff. Now, Cardiff have been up and down. Burton, though, same as Port Vale, but just they've been slightly improving for quite a lot longer for me, and they're a little bit further ahead on that road. So, although a lot of you thinking this could go either way, and even down to a 0-0 draw, I think that there is going to be a winner here. What are you thinking? 2-1, 0-0, 2-1, 0-1, 0-1, and I've gone for Port Vale 0, Burton 1. I think that they have just got the edge there. Wimbledon versus Reading next. Wimbledon 16th, Reading in 10th. What are you thinking here? 1-1, 1-1, 0-2, 1-2 and 2-1. I wanted to put that on because you really are all across the board here. Wimbledon, lose, win, lose, draw, lose, win. I mean, all over the place, really. Last 3 games, they've actually played 2 games where they've got, out of the last 3, 1 shot on target, 1 in the net. Now, that has to be a really good strike force to do that. Really is. But they're just not getting enough on target, are they? 1 shot on target during the entire 90 minutes is pants. But to score from it twice out of 3 games is amazing. They're playing Reading, though. Win, win, lose, draw, draw, win. They're starting to get this momentum going now. They're in 10th. They had a bit of a blip for a few games, but it's not been a bad blip. They're still there, keeping up the form just about, because the ones ahead of them aren't winning all their games. They're losing games as well. So because they're losing points, I can see them thinking, we can do this, we can catch up that top 6 quite easily. Like I said, you're thinking all over the board. What are we going to think? 1-1, 1-1, 0-2, 1-2, 2-1. We're going to go with Wimbledon Wimbledon 1, Reading 2. I think Reading just have it for me. Wimbledon will have to start hitting the target a few more times for me to change that one. Bolton versus Barnsley next. Bolton in 3rd, Barnsley in 14th. Barnsley really have been in free fall until of late. They started playing some good football. Bolton, though, they've stuttered. They had played some good football recently. Then they had a bit of a rough patch for me. And then the last 3, here, look at this for the last 6 here. Lose, win, draw, win, win, win. And that's when they really, for me, started to say, let's tighten up at the back. Let's get the 3 points. It doesn't matter whether we don't need to trounce them. We don't need to get 3 or 4. We just need to get the 3 points, and that's what they've been doing there. Barnsley, though, lose, win, draw, lose, win, draw. Oh, there's a sequence. I just think that Barnsley have just about started to turn it, haven't they? Just about. So Bolton will fancy themselves at home. Barnsley would as well, but you're not giving me much of a choice here. Bolton Barnsley 2-0, 2-1, 2-2, 2-0, 2-0. I think it's going to be 2-0, and I'm not sure which way round it is. You're not giving me the choice. I'm going to go with Bolton 2, Barnsley 0. But Barnsley fans, could be the other way around, couldn't it? Absolutely, easily. So after that one, we go for 6th place Huddersfield against Blackpool in 18th. Now, this is actually a little bit more interesting than you think. If you look at the form here, Huddersfield lose, win, win, win. They beat Rotherham 3-0. Should have been at least 5 or 6. We weren't very good at that point at all, and we hadn't turned it round. But the last 3, a 1-0 win at home to Bradford, 1-0 win at home to Luton, and then a 3-2 win away at Peterborough, who are slightly improving for me. And I think Peterborough were unlucky there as well. So Huddersfield, they need to be showing up with more pizzazz than just nicking the 1-0. But like I said in the game before, if you get the 3 points, that's all that matters, isn't it? Blackpool lose, win, lose. And they have got a better side than this. They really have. What's happened? I'd love to hear from you. Please do like and subscribe. Tell me down below, Blackpool fans, what the hell's gone wrong? So what are you thinking? Huddersfield, Blackpool, 2-0, 3-1, 3-1, 2-0, 2-0. You guess what I'm going to go for? I'm going to agree with you a lot. Huddersfield 2, Blackpool 0. But I'd love to know from Blackpool fans, what's gone wrong? That team is better than this, isn't it? It's definitely better than an 18 slot. So then, after Blackpool and Huddersfield, we've got Mansfield versus Exeter. Mansfield have really turned it around, haven't they? 11th place Mansfield, 13th place Exeter. Exeter have turned it around as well, until they played Rotherham and lost 4-0. That was a dreadful performance by their their defence from Exeter. Really was. But Mansfield to look at first. Win, 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 draw, draw, draw. They've when they've played not so good, they've drawn of late, and that's critical between those times when you don't play well but you lose it. If you want to finish in that top end with Mansfield in 11th, you would think they could just about smell the top 6, can't they? And you can see how they're thinking, a draw instead of a defeat really makes a big difference. So they've got the bit between their teeth, haven't they? Exeter, though, draw, lose, win, draw, lose against Rotherham 4-0. And probably should have been about 3-0, 2-0, 3-0, but that defence was awful from Exeter, really was. I can't see why they were in that position, to be quite honest. That was not not a mid-table performance. That was nearer to the bottom third. So what are you thinking with Mansfield? Exeter 3-2, 3-2, 2-0, 2-0, 1-1. Both of these sides can score. Both of these sides can let them in. But I think Mansfield, for me, are the ones that have not been letting them in quite as much of recent. So I'm going to go with Mansfield 2, Exeter 0. And we move to Northampton in 23rd, Stevenage in 8th. Now, Stevenage can be a little bit of a rough cannon, can't they? Sometimes they play really well. Sometimes they play pants. Let's have a look at the stats for Northampton. Win, lose, 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 draw. A really good draw against Barnsley. I think that when they played Barnsley, they scored first, but I think that Barnsley really did 22 shots, 5 on target, 2 in the net. They really did. They should really have won this one. But Northampton, 2 shots, 4 shots on target, 2 in the net. They've been doing a similar thing to certain other sides, haven't they? A couple of shots and a big proportion go in the net. So that's the problem for Stevenage, who have lose, lose, draw, draw, win, lose. The win was against Peterborough. They've been up and down in that game. Stevenage really should have been winning that a little bit more. But Barnsley 3, Stevenage 1. And to be honest, again, Barnsley should have won this one. And Stevenage, 1 shot on goal, 1 in the net. So have we got here a pair of teams, Northampton and Stevenage, give them 1 shot on goal, it could very well go in. There doesn't have to be many shots in this game for 1 to go in. You could quite easily see this being a 1-1, couldn't you? Let's see what you're all thinking with Northampton versus Stevenage. 1-1, 0-0, 1-2, 0-1, 1-3. Yeah, go on. I'm going to go with what I've just said. Northampton 1, Stevenage 1. I can see 1 shot on target each, 1 goal, 1 in each half. Yeah, let's see if that happens as we go to the next one, which is Peterborough in 12th now. They really have been motoring, haven't they? I said they were improving. They have. I got it right. Northampton, Peterborough in 12th, Wigan in 20th, and Wigan. What happened to Wigan? I loved some of their signings in summer, and then they didn't quite gel. Then they did a little bit, just for a few games. Of recent, they've sort of got quite steady, but they've got steady in a sort of bottom third way, which is not a good way. This team has more in it. Peterborough, I said, had more in it and have proven it. So it's just a case of one proving it and one not for me. Peterborough, lose, win, lose, win, lose, lose. But those 2 games, Stevenage 1-0 defeat away and a home defeat to Huddersfield 3-2. And to be quite honest, guys, 85th minute and then 89th minute. I mean, they equalised Peterborough on 85 minutes. 4 minutes later, Huddersfield went and nicked it. And I tell you what, 5 goals in this game and only 9 shots on target if you add them both together. This was a game of don't want to lose this, but my God, did they defend. The 2 teams defended really well. That's why there weren't many shots on target. They were shooting, they just couldn't get the damn things. They're either blocked or off target. Amazing game, absolutely amazing game. Wigan, though, to their benefit, lose, win, lose, draw, lose, lose. But you've got to see who they played. 6 games ago, start there, defeat against Cardiff City of all teams, and it was only 1-0. They won Preston in the FA Cup. Yeah, good game. Bolton, who have been really turning it around for me, 1-0 defeat. A 3-3 against Doncaster was probably the blip for me. A Wickham side that again can be up and down. They played a good Wickham side in this one, 2-0 defeat. And then Lincoln City was second. They're flying. And they only lost 1-0. So against the 2 top teams, they've only lost 1-0. This Wigan side can defend really, really well. But they've got to score some goals, haven't they? They really have. So what are you thinking, Peterborough versus Wigan? I can see Goals being the problem here for Wigan. Do you think it's going to be the same for Peterborough? I wouldn't think so, but let's have a look. 2-0, 1-2, 2-1, 1-1, 1-1. Now, because of the way you're going, I'm going to go with Peterborough 1, Wigan 1. I think that Peterborough will just be frustrated by this improved Wigan defence. 15th place Plymouth versus 2nd place Lincoln City. And I can see what all you thinking are saying, but there's one person I've gone with on this one. Plymouth Argyle, win, 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 draw, lose. The draw was against Mansfield and they've been playing really well. Stockport County defeat. They have been really good or really meh. And they lost 2-1 there away. Let's quick look at the wins, the 4 wins. Obviously, one's in the Virtue Trophy, so we get rid of that one. The other 3 are Burton Albion at home, 3-0. Well, it's Burton Albion. They're up and down. They have been improving, but not as much as Plymouth, so that's probably an expected one. Peterborough 1-0 win away, and I'd say these two are quite level. I would have expected a draw there. They were pretty much even for me. And then Luton Town, they nicked a win, 1-0, but Luton have been really up and down, haven't they? Clinical, but not enough consistency. So that's where Plymouth are coming from. Lincoln City, though, draw, win, win, win. And they've played teams across the board. Luton, Burton, Bradford, Wigan, they really have played, and Huddersfield. So they've played some good teams, they've played some mediocre teams. Let's just say that they probably deserve those wins in there. And I can't see Lincoln having an issue here. What are you thinking? Plymouth versus Lincoln, 1-2, 2-2, 1-1, 1-2, 2-4. Now, looking at how many goals Plymouth can score, and at home, remember they're at home, I think that they could quite easily score 1 or 2, and I think it's probably going to be 2. Can Lincoln City score more? Absolutely. You look at how they've got 5-2 win against Peterborough, and they've been improving, remember. So I'm going to go with Plymouth 2, Lincoln 4, and that is actually one of your predictions, guys. Rotherham 21st versus Cardiff in first. And I was quite shocked at Biancheri coming to Rotherham. He turned down one of the European sides, didn't he? And I'm thinking, how the hell do you turn down a European side who play in the Champions League and then come to a Rotherham side on loan? I really don't know. But hey, it's happened. We've got some very good strikers coming. Some very, very good strikers. Will they hit the ground running? God only knows, but I tell you what, it's going to be interesting. The back end could be a bit rough for Rotherham. Lose, 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 draw, win, win. The last 2 games, 2-1 win against Northampton, but we only played half the game there, really. The other game was a bit poor. Exeter, 4-0 win away from home. We only played half the game, 3/4 of the game for me in that game. We do have a tendency to sit back at points in time. Cardiff are the sort of team who would make you pay for that. Win, draw, win, draw, win, draw. And they have been up and down. And it's not whether they're home or away either. They've been up and down, home and away. So last time out for them was a Burton 2-2 away draw. But before that, an improving Barnsley side, they won 4-0. And you just can't see where these scores are coming from, can you? What is happening with them? They seem to just take... I think they sometimes think, we're going to win this one easy, and then they go out there and they take it for granted they're going to win it. And I've seen that in the Championship, especially with Norwich. They do the same thing sometimes. They're in the bottom third, we'll win this, and then they go and lose it. And I think, from me, that's what's happening with the Cardiff side. Too overconfident sometimes. So Rotherham Cardiff, what are you thinking? 1-2, 1-3, 3-2, 0-2, 1-2. I said about our strikers, I'm going to go with one of those. I'm going to go with Rotherham 3, Cardiff 2. Wow, that's going to be a game if that one comes out. Maybe just have a bet on it. Stockport versus Orient next, and Stockport in 4th, 19th place Leyton Orient. Now you've got to think that Leyton Orient were playing some good football in this in periods here. They seem to have cooled off a bit of late, don't they? Stockport have been the opposite. They were playing some pretty up and down football. They seem to have got a lot of consistency now. Win, 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 draw, win, win. The draw against Cardiff, absolutely. They managed to scrape a win against Rotherham 3-2. What was the... Yeah, we thought we'd done it, and then Anderson got a 76-minute winner for Stockport, and it was a good game where we deserved a draw there, but Stockport won it. Oh, yeah, that's fair enough. Last time out for Stockport, 2-1 home win against Plymouth, and Plymouth aren't playing that well. 2-1 win against Blackpool, and their defence, their attack can do so much more. Their defence can. The whole team is just not playing for me as well as it could do. But Orient, lose, draw, win, lose, and you have to feel a bit sorry for the Orient fans here. What are you saying? Stockport versus Orient, 3-1, 3-1, 4-1, 3-0, 1-1. I think that Orient will score. I can see Orient scoring. None for the last 2 games. I can see them nicking one against this side, but I think it's going to be Stockport 4, Orient 1. Sorry, guys. We're going to finish with Wycombe 9th versus Doncaster in 19th. And Doncaster right at the top, when they dropped down like a plummet, then they plummeted to near the bottom, and then of late they've opened the parachute and gone, whoop, hang on, no more dropping. Wycombe though in 9th, they've just they've been really consistent, and it must be really annoying for the fans because a little bit better consistency, boom, up, and you're in the top 6. But they've been just outside it, and it's so frustrating as a fan, being just outside it all the time. Damn, let's get into it. Wycombe then, draw, win, lose, win, draw. And you can see how they must be so frustrated. A draw, 0-0 against Mansfield. And realistically, even with an improved Mansfield side, they got twice as many shots at target here, Wycombe. 17 shots at target, 2 of them on target. 8 shots at target for Mansfield, 1 on target. It was just a defend, get the bus back and stop them from being able to shoot at target. And they both did a damn good job at it. But that meant it was not a great game for me to watch. I didn't enjoy it one bit. Doncaster then, win, draw, win, lose, win. A loss against Bradford, which is no mean feat. They can play some good football, can't they? And Burton 2-1 win away, and they have been improving. And I was actually quite surprised. Doncaster have been scoring like 2 and 3 goals, and they scored 3 again here. So you have to think this Doncaster side is capable of scoring goals now. It was, and then it dropped down to near the bottom of the table, and now it starts to rescore goals again. It's got the strike force in there to be able to put it in the net. So the Wycombe side is going to find it a bit tough because they haven't been scoring as many per game as what Doncaster have. So Wycombe versus Doncaster, 2-1, 1-3, 2-1, 2-0, 0-2. I'm going to go for one of my own, and this is the first time in this prediction video that I'm doing it. Wycombe 2, Doncaster 2. I really can't. I think if anybody wins it, I can see Doncaster winning it like 3-2. but I'm going to go for 2-2. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next League One video. Thank you. Remember, like and subscribe.